Okay, so for week 10 of spring anime, the season continues. More episodes coming in, good finales, good progressions. The Jellyfish anime continues to be so strong emotionally. My Hero Academia, there's like some fights starting, escalations. Kaiju number 8, more fights. A Dungeon Meshi, we get some backstories, good world building again. And KonoSuba, we gotta save darkness from the ugly bastard. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about the shows I watched this week. The season's coming to a close. I'm trying to keep up with more anime this season. So starting off with My Hero Academia, season 7, episode 6. Yeah, I kind of like this episode. The fight is starting with All For One. We saw that the hero's plan was basically separate them. All For One, Shigaraki, and Dabi, because all three of them together is kind of like too much. People are gonna die. So yeah, if you separate them, it's like a bit more manageable. Just have every hero kind of split up, and then just like have like 3 different teams. So the way they did it was pretty cool. They kind of had like the Avengers, just like the portals open up, have the copy guy Monoma use the shadow portal power, and just like push every villain into a portal, put them in kind of like hilarious giant metal boxes, and yeah, push them before they can break out. So yeah, all the heroes are kind of splitting up. We see Deku, he's with Bakugo and some other people, like the powerhouses. They're gonna face Shigaraki. We see Uraraka and some of the other girls going on the beach to face off against some like lesser villains. And then yeah, we see Todoroki versus Dabi, and then All For One versus Endeavor, Hawks, all the adult kind of experience heroes. So yeah, it's a good matchup, but then like hilariously enough, Deku gets like grabbed into a different portal by like this like rope, and he can't really break free. It's a slow motion, just big chillin'. I saw a comment like, yeah, Deku phoning it in. He just wants to hang out with all these hot girls on the beach because yeah, Uraraka's there, Toga's there. Like she's the one that's kind of like in love with him. And now that's kind of like a big deal. That's some main character shit she just pulled off. Just like separating Deku from Shigaraki. So we have to wait a long time for them to face off again. So yeah, since the plan kind of failed, all the other heroes are facing off against Shigaraki. We see Mirko. She's like kind of jumping around, very physical brawling. And we also see Monoma copying Aizawa's power now. So now he can disable Shigaraki's quirk, so he can't do the dismantle anymore. They're also like surrounded by this like giant barrier that the like kind of mechanic girl was making. So yeah, this barrier is kind of like self-regenerating. They like have all this like power stored up. They were like planning this for a long time. So basically Shigaraki can't break free. He's basically trapped in this giant floating prison that's like self-repairing. And yeah, all the heroes are trying to like beat up on him. So yeah, Mirko's there. I kind of feel bad for her because she's so strong, kind of badass, pretty much a top 5 hero, but every time she shows up, she gets bodied a lot. She gets like destroyed, her bones get crushed, and then here's no different. So she's beating up on Shigaraki, he's quirkless, and then he just does a new move. He's kind of just like taking his time analyzing things like a robot. His mind does not seem to be all there. So now he just like produces a shit ton of hands from his body. I don't know what this is. And then he crushes Mirko with it while she was flying in. That was pretty rough. We end the episode there, but yeah, it's basically telling us, yeah, this is not going to be an easy fight. The heroes had a good plan, surprisingly, besides Deku getting like pulled into a different portal for some reason. I'd say this though, like Dabi, the fight with him and Todoroki, it's probably not like a big deal, even though it's billed to be a big deal, because Dabi's just like some random strong fire guy. So basically you can expect this to be like the final escalation war arc. It'll probably be a full season before we get some like closure, and the manga is still ongoing. So yeah, I think the fight finished up recently, but now there's like an epilogue arc coming up. So yeah, the students are still fighting. This is surprisingly their first year still. So yeah, all this shit is happening. So yeah, pretty exciting episode, and we'll definitely see more of Deku and Toga next week. All right, so for Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night, episode 10. Last episode was so sad. Mahiru and Kano just like fought, argued, because Mahiru was working for Kano's mom, which Kano wanted like revenge on her. So yeah, it's like kind of, she's like cheating on her. She's cheating on Jelly. That's what it feels like. There's a whole rift in their friendship. They said things they couldn't take back, how like Mahiru's like alone by herself. She can't really do anything without help. Mahiru cries at that because it hits at all her insecurities. She always wants to work hard and express herself, but she's also very shy. So she needs that like extroverted push to kind of like have her do things. The last 2 remaining members of Jelly that are trying to like keep this band together is Kiwi and Mei. So they're not really panicking. They do have like some type of plan to like get the band back together. Maybe have some like giant live stream to like announce their progress. We see Kiwi just like delivering food and then working with the older idol lady. And then we see Mei kind of stalking one of Kano's old idol girls. So I guess it looked like she was looking for Kano for some reason. And then Mei just found her, keeps asking her questions, following her. And then we get some more like perspective on like what Kano was doing, why she wanted to join Jelly. Basically, all of them are working for Kano's mom. She was like the ringleader. Everyone's kind of like average in terms of their skill, but then the mom kind of propped them all up. They're all just like working for the mom. They don't really have any purpose for themselves. We also realized that's why Kano decided to form Jelly because she wanted to get closer to her mom. That's why she's singing. So even though the mom's kind of like manipulative and evil, all these girls still want to work for her. So yeah, they're being manipulated. And now it's pretty sad. So yeah, even Kano admits this. She kind of feels bad for Mahiru because it's like she was actually using Mahiru to get closer to the mom. At the end of this episode, Jelly has like this farewell live stream where they're all kind of like gonna break up, which is very sad. And then Kano's just like all depressed. She can't sing anymore. But yeah, everyone still wants to be friends again. So there's like this kind of like dramatic like conclusion to the live stream where Mei is like, no, I don't want to give up. She starts singing this like kind of off-key song. Kiwi starts driving to Kano's house, has her listen to the live stream, and then Kano kind of replies and says she's not gonna quit. And Mahiru's just like listening in her room. She's not really helping or contributing. It looks like Jelly hasn't broken up. They're together, but Mahiru still has her own thing to do. We don't know like what's gonna happen, but yeah, I mean, solid emotional episode. I love the voice acting here. Even like the side characters, like the random idol girl from Kano's old band, they just depicted their emotions so well. It was very cute. So yeah, I guess that's it for Jellyfish this week. We have 2 more episodes left, so it's definitely gonna be some big like finale, concert, conclusion, maybe. We gotta see. Okay, so for Kaiju number 8, episode 9, the job is not finished. We can't rest. We defeated like the giant kaiju attack from Kaiju number 9. He came through again, but now there's more kaijus attacking. There's this giant red kaiju who looks like Venom. He's just like super strong and brawly, and then they start attacking like the defense force base. So that's kind of interesting because usually just like attack random like human neighborhoods, but now it looks like they're strategically targeting like the places of military power. So yeah, these kaijus are getting smarter. Hoshina is like concerned about this. Kafka even like says it because there's like wyvern kaijus flying in. So the fact is that there's like this dude commanding them. So this really strong kaiju coming in. I don't know if he's kaiju number 10 or if he's like nameless or anything. But basically Hoshina is the strongest dude in the base right now. Mina is missing in action. I don't know where she is, but she better show up soon. But basically Hoshina is kind of like facing off against him. His skin is really hard, but Hoshina's pretty good at dodging and he has like 90% plus power level. Besides that, Kafka's trying his best to like provide support. He's like helping other people. He can transform some of his body parts into like kaiju pieces, so he can like jump really high, rescue other people. So yeah, he's playing his part supporting. We see Shinomiya actually as well. So yeah, she helped kill a lot of these wyverns because they also have like tough armor because she has this giant axe, neo weapon. So we saw that like a lot of people have like assigned like kaiju weapons, but you have to be like a captain. So yeah, Hoshina has his daggers, Mina has the BFG, and now Shinomiya has this giant axe. It's like it has like this shockwave thing that can like propel her really fast, and yeah, it really shows off her like pure power. Ishikawa is also helping out, so yeah, we see like they're kind of building him up. So yeah, after that, Hoshina kind of like unleashes his limiter because this giant red kaiju is like really strong. He can just like penetrate this kaiju skin, slice it up. We see the cores on his back, and now Hoshina's just like doing Demon Slayer breathing techniques. So yeah, all of these dudes have very in-character techniques as well. It's not just like random, you know, wind, sun, cloud breathing. They're using different types of forces and slashes. So yeah, Hoshina does like this 8-fold slash that kind of like slices up the kaiju's midsection and kills the core. So yeah, it looks like we defeated this giant red kaiju in one episode. Very cool, but nah, he has a phase 2. So it looks like his body can just like morph and transform. So he like moved his core. So yeah, this giant tough red kaiju transformed into like an even tougher, huger, like building sized red kaiju. So yeah, we'll see what's gonna happen, but I'm assuming Kafka's gonna help out. Maybe he's gonna transform into kaiju number 8. We gotta see. And the target on his back might get even bigger. We don't know where Mina is, so I'm assuming she's gonna show up as well because, girl, what else do you have to do? Yeah, maybe she's taking a nap. We gotta wake her up. Maybe she's like out of the city. But yeah, besides that, I like Kafka doing things. I like Shinomiya's huge axe, and I love like the action kind of continuing. So yeah, very exciting show. Okay, so for Dead Demons episode 2, another solid episode. Love the dialogue between all these characters. So yeah, the alien invasion is coming in, but then these girls, Kadode and Ontan, are kind of like being friends, just like living their high school lives. It is a bit weird because there's a lot of just like random ass taboo shit. Like Kadode and all the other girls, they seem to be jealous that one of the other girls is in a relationship. So now she wants to get it with her sensei. Like, I don't know, like this is definitely not okay. Like, I don't know why they're kind of like romanticizing it like this. It felt very weird. So I guess we'll talk about like the high school slice of life stuff, and then we'll talk about the alien shit after. So basically Kadode kind of like visits the sensei's house. He kind of like realizes what she's doing, of course, but then he declines. But he's kind of like being a scumbag about it, where he's like, okay, we can be sex friends later once you're 18, but yeah, right now when you're my student, I can't do it. I can't risk my job. We see Kadode, she's not really forcing herself upon the sensei, but she's just being a little weird. But then she sees on TV that Ontan is like investigating like the alien kind of crash site, so it looks like she puts her friendship above the relationship with the teacher, which is okay, fine. And then she kind of like goes away after hugging him. But I guess they were pointing this out. Kadode has like a very unstable family. Her dad's not in her life, although there's an alien invasion coming in, so yeah, I guess everyone's lives are going to be changed. So yeah, Kadode and Ontan, they kind of like collect this like random device on the street, so it looks like it's coming from the aliens or the government. We see Ontan has like a older brother who's kind of chubby, and then he kind of adds his own personality to the anime as well. And then after that, the US government, they kind of invented this new like military defense device that can shoot down these alien planes from the mothership. So now they're kind of like testing the machine. It's like in front of the news broadcasted, and they do shoot down an alien ship, so everyone's like kind of like surprised and happy. But I guess like at the end of this episode, there's this random alien in the middle of like the city, and he's like, damn, you killed a lot of our people. Like, this is where shit gets bad. So yeah, it's kind of like a creepy ending where, you know, we shot down the alien spaceship. I think some stuff like the high school girl is trying to have sex with the teacher, you know, that's obviously not good. But yeah, I'm just like hypnotized at the conversation, the dialogue. It feels so genuine and fun. All right, so for Windbreaker episode 10, yes, the squad makes up the Bofurin school and the other school with Choji and Togame and everyone else. So yeah, Umemiya's like, let's eat food together, let's get takeout because I'm hungry, and that's kind of how we establish our friendships. So yeah, Umemiya's like very clear that he wants to be just like a good person, doesn't really care about fighting or anything, just wants to like solve all the beef. After that, just like get along, and he's like really strong, so he can just like back up his words so easily. And now they all just have to listen and eat food together. So yeah, I mean, it's a good like kind of bonding experience. We see Choji's kind of inner struggle where he's kind of just like immature. He kind of felt empty inside even though like he was the strongest. So he asks Umemiya why he's so happy and having fun even though he's also the strongest. Doesn't he also feel lonely? And Umemiya kind of has like an opposite reaction where he's like, no, I have a lot of friends. I have their like kind of will and dreams on my shoulders. So yeah, Umemiya kind of like implies that all the people are the result of his strength, and Choji was just like alienating so many people, so yeah, that's why he was weak. So then he tells Choji just like, you know, take a good look inside of yourself, take a good look around you, see like all the people that support you, and you'll know the true meaning of friendship and you'll be strong again. So yeah, Choji was just like a bit misguided, immature, and even though he's kind of like a little psychopath, his talk with Umemiya kind of like heads him into the right direction, and now he makes friends with Togame and everyone else again. So yeah, I guess like problem solved, no more gang violence here, but I mean, there might be other shit happening in the future. I'm kind of anxious because every time there's like a character like Umemiya, like a super strong good guy, there's probably going to be a way to nerf him or kill him in the future because the villains can't really progress otherwise. But besides that, you know, Sakura's still like kind of angry because he doesn't really understand like the power of numbers. He wanted to go to Bofurin to be strong by himself because he was always alienated when he was younger. He's always solo. He can't really imagine having friends. But then, you know, he does have a lot of friends here now. So he rejects Umemiya's point of view, but Umemiya keeps talking to him, convincing him to like, you know, look at the power of numbers. So yeah, you know, this anime is literally like the friends we made along the way. They help you get stronger. Sakura's like a big tsundere, but you know, we kind of end this episode just like being happy, looking at Umemiya's like kind of positive, pacifistic outlook on life. All right, so for Dungeon Meshi episode 23, we get that good Senshi backstory. God damn. So yeah, we saw he was like part of like a bunch of dwarves that discovered the dungeon, and yeah, their time in this dungeon was kind of rough. They were kind of blinded by riches and treasure, but then in the end they were kind of lost. The dungeon kind of trapped them, and they were like forced to eat the dungeon monsters, the food, and even their horses. So that shit was kind of rough, but it kind of tells us why Senshi is like eating monsters now. That's just how he had to live to survive. So yeah, Senshi was really young, but he saw that like all of his other comrades were trying to like fight against each other, trying to protect him. And then he saw his last dwarf friend kind of like left him alone and gave him like one last like meal, which was supposed to be like a griffin soup. But then like Senshi kind of like had a feeling of dread on the back of his head that maybe it was dwarf soup. Maybe one of the dudes killed the other dwarf and fed it to Senshi because he was like hungry and they were running out of food. So yeah, Senshi could not find anything to replicate the taste. He was traveling through the dungeon, living with orcs, and then he finally like kind of escaped the dungeon. So the fact that they finally killed this griffin, he doesn't really want to taste it just because it might confirm his fears that he was like a cannibal. So yeah, they prepared the griffin meat, kind of prepare it into a soup, and it wasn't the same flavor. But then Laios kind of realizes, wait, this meat might not actually be griffin meat. It might be hippogriff meat. So then there's like this random ass like mushroom called a changeling that like shifts the form of anything it touches. So maybe this griffin they killed was actually a hippogriff, and then the meat kind of like changes texture. So then yeah, they put the meat back into the changeling mushrooms, and then it randomly turns to hippogriff meat. They feed it to Senshi, and then this is the flavor. So he gets like a huge emotional reaction. Like it's like, oh, when you're a kid, you kind of like remember something that tasted really familiar or good, and now you finally eat it again, you're just in tears. So yeah, absolute cinema. Good kind of like emotional connection by Senshi there. And you know, it's very simple. He realized what this taste was. He got closure from his past. Finally, second half of the episode, it's kind of surprising. So yeah, that changeling mushroom they used to change the meat, they all kind of like went in contact with it accidentally. So everyone kind of changes forms to a different race. Laios is a dwarf, Chelchuk is a tall man, Senshi is an elf. He's just like kind of like a handsome dude. They just all feel very out of character, and they're like kind of unable to like use their body to their full potential. They're kind of running out of power and mana. So yeah, they're kind of having a hard time fighting. They get ambushed by gargoyles, but then they find refuge inside the room with the lion. So yeah, everyone's just like hanging out, eating food, trying to like adapt to their new body. It's very random. Hopefully they like kind of go back. Next episode is the finale, so I'm assuming they're going to go back, maybe find the lion, make more story progress, find a way to like defeat the elf, and then hopefully if there's a season 2, you know, kind of continue the dungeon journey. So you know, very solid anime, good world building, good kind of like monsters and fantasy elements every week. Okay, so for KonoSuba season 3 episode 9, yo, Darkness, what you doing? She left the squad. Kazuma, Aqua, Megaman, they can't just like let this happen. So they just go to the mansion, just like start calling for her, but she's like stuck in her room. She doesn't really want to talk to them. We find out why she's doing this. So yeah, Kazuma kind of sneaks in as well. Aqua puts some magic blessings on him so he can kind of like disguise as people. He kind of like imitates her voice so all the guards get confused, and then says like some embarrassing shit that he's just like pleasuring herself. But yeah, basically they kind of start talking. We see that Darkness's father is in debt, so she's getting married to settle this debt. Bro, we gotta save her from the ugly bastard. I think it's like that fat blonde like king that we saw earlier. But yeah, besides that, you know, Darkness, that's why she wanted to kill the Hydra herself, because then she'd have a lot of money to pay off the debt. The problem is the whole village kind of like helped and contributed, so yeah, that plan didn't work. And besides that, yeah, she's stuck here. Kazuma can't really lend her money because she's a noble. She doesn't want to accept it. And yeah, she's just being so stubborn. Kazuma will definitely like help her out some way. But yeah, we see as Kazuma's like trying to run away from her room, we see Darkness's dad. So he's kind of sick. He has like this disease, and yeah, he's just in bed. But yeah, after talking to Kazuma, he's like, I entrust my daughter to you. So I guess the harem root is still alive. We saw a lot of Megaman during the movie, but now Darkness is kind of like getting her time to shine. So yeah, very funny interactions with her and Kazuma. So I guess today's rescue plan wasn't successful, but I mean, they're still gonna keep trying. We need the hot, big-titted, masochistic knight waifu back, so we gotta do something about this soon. Alright, so for Spice and Wolf, the remake, episode 10, very solid episode. So our boy Lawrence was in bankruptcy mode. He was like devastated. He couldn't really borrow any money. Everyone hated him, and he started yelling at Hollow, lashing out at her. So just like a very sad episode all around last time. This episode though, everything's coming back up. We're getting a new plan. He kind of like apologizes to Hollow. It was very sappy, but you know, Hollow, she forgives him. So the way he apologized to her, he finally was able to borrow a bit of money, like 3 gold coins, and Hollow's like, bro, you're foolish, come back. And then yeah, they apologize to each other. Hollow kind of like makes fun of Lawrence for being just like such a good guy. He's kind of just like way too generous and selfless with her. It's got just like a self-inserty type of like conversation here. That's why I kind of hated Lawrence in the original Spice and Wolf. But yeah, he's just like kind of like a nothing good guy character, and then Hollow's like, you know, still falling for him and everything. So yeah, I mean, I guess it's fine. But besides that, yeah, they're kind of like more energized now. They have like a second wind, and now they're kind of like starting up a new plan to get money, the hustle, the grind. So yeah, Lawrence has no way to pay off his debt immediately, but he's like, okay, what if we smuggle in gold? So you don't have to pay taxes on the gold. You get more money because gold is worth a lot here. So he kind of like uses his words, his negotiation tactics. So he's kind of like still even in more debt if this plan fails, because he asked for money to like, you know, start borrowing the coins. So their plan hinges on Nora. They have her be a shepherd. They tie up gold coins under the sheep, bring them back into the city. No one will investigate them or question it because Nora's affiliated with the church, and I guess easy job. So yeah, I mean, there might be some flaws in the plan, like, you know, what if the gold coins kind of slip off? But basically their plan hinges on traveling to like a faraway village that has cheap gold, and then you bring that back to the kingdom. So you basically double the profits of the gold, and you don't have to pay taxes. So you kind of just like triple your profits basically. But it's kind of like a win-win for everybody. You know, the church takes a big L, Lawrence and Hollow kind of continue their journey, and then the shepherd Nora's like kind of free from the church because she gets a big payout from this. So yeah, I'm very excited. You know, this anime does like a lot showing you different sides of business, and now just like showing you like how to break the law, smuggle. So it's very on theme. I'm not really a big fan of the romance elements and Lawrence's kind of like NPC good guy personality, but besides that, the storytelling is fun. The character interactions and conversations flow very well, and besides that, yeah, the story continues. Also, we got this Netflix special, Baki Hanma versus Kengan Ashura. And nothing much to talk about, just like a random ass fight. It's kind of hype, you know, like these two kind of like protagonists fighting. There's not really a clear winner, but then they all have like, you know, multiple forms. Baki has like his whip strike, and then Kengan Ashura has like his blood demon form. They're both kind of fighting, and then they both get interrupted by Yuichiro and Kuroki. They're like buff dudes fighting, so much just like pent up energy on the screen, big muscles. Nothing really crazy here. Animation was whatever. But yeah, like I've been watching a lot of Baki, so I guess I gotta keep up with anything Baki related, even though I hate the goofy story so much. Okay, so for Mushoku Tensei Season 2, Episode 9, what a weird episode. Yeah, Rudeus rescues Roxy, and then Roxy doesn't recognize him. But then once he reveals that he is Rudeus, Roxy instantly in love with him. Cannot like look eyes with him. It is very uncomfortable yet funny. I mean, this is the wish fulfillment main character right here. So yeah, all the girls are into him. Yeah, Roxy finally sees him after like a long time. So I guess that was a feel good moment, but I just like hated her kind of like shy, awkward reactions. But I mean, you know, people love Roxy. She's like, I think she's literally the most popular character in this show. So yeah, she can do no wrong. Kind of just like fighting in this teleporting labyrinth, killing monsters. It's like pretty simple. They realize that like each level of the teleportation labyrinth has like this portal to get to the next level. So they basically go through level 3, level 4, kind of like make their way through everything. And then after like exploring, they kind of like go back up to get more resources. To keep doing this, kind of take their time. So yeah, it is like a long process to kind of like navigate the labyrinth and rescue the mom. And you know, Roxy being shy and lovesick with Rudeus now. This dude cannot really communicate either. Like I hate his personality as well because he's just like too overly polite, literally so annoying. He does not tell her that he's married, and then he kind of promises to explore another labyrinth with her later. Like, so yeah, I guess things are gonna get spicy there. Besides that, yeah, they kind of like continue on their journey, and depending on the pacing, maybe we'll rescue the mom really quick. Also after that, we have Demon Slayer, the Hashira training arc, episode 5. So yeah, more pillars coming in training. This one's basically Tanjiro going through all of them with like all these kind of Demon Slayer NPCs also like involved in the training. It's very repetitive, but yeah, we see Kanroji. She's very infatuated with Tanjiro after all their fun adventures in the Swordsmith village. But basically her training is like kind of flexibility training, so just like yoga together. But it's kind of just like extreme stretching where she just like does the splits on you and just like kind of rips your arms and legs like in a torture rack. But basically everyone's like kind of getting more flexible. We see Tanjiro going to the next pillar to train, which is the snake pillar. He kind of like helps Tanjiro with his accuracy, and he kind of like forces Tanjiro to attack him in like this enclosed room with all these kind of Demon Slayer bodies tied up. So then yeah, he has to kind of like land a strike on him while avoiding all these other obstacles around him and hitting his comrades. But basically at the end of the day, Tanjiro kind of like improves his accuracy. He's able to get like a little hit on him, and you know, he goes on to the next training. I kind of feel bad for the Demon Slayer NPCs though. They're not like getting any training done. They're just being tied up. So the next training is with the Wind Pillar. He's kind of like the very strong, aggressive dude with a bunch of scars. We see he's kind of like the older brother of Genya, who's like the dude with the shotgun. But basically Tanjiro doesn't really like him either, but he still stays positive. This is because, you know, he was the guy that stabbed Nezuko in the first season. His training's pretty tough and simple. It's just like everyone kind of gangs up to attack him, but he's just like really fast and powerful, so he just like pushes them all away. Everyone's just like seriously injured, just like bruises and bumps, can barely walk. So yeah, this training is rough. Besides that, yeah, we see Genya trying to talk to his brother, but then the brother doesn't really want anything to do with him. And then after that, Genya's like, I'm trying to get stronger. I'm trying to reach your level. I've even had to eat demons to get stronger. And then the Wind Pillar is like, bro, you try to eat demons, I'm gonna kill you. So he tries to like stab the brother's eyes out. Tanjiro saves him, and now they're just like fighting. So just like some random ass family issues over here. Tanjiro's like in the middle of it, and now he's banned from the Wind Hashira training. So they kind of got like a restraining order on him. And we skip that training. We go to the next one. So it's the strong buff guy. I think he's the last guy to train with. I'm pretty sure he's the Stone Hashira, and his training looks to try to like strengthen your muscles. I think like the best part of the episode was like the snake pillar. We see him getting jealous of Tanjiro because it looks like he does have a thing with the love pillar Kanroji. And that is it for the shows this week. Thank you for watching. Another quick week, but catch me next week as I'm trying to review more animes. I've been trying to speed through Sound Euphonium, so I'm on season 2. Bro, this shit is so peak. Like the first season, cinema, Second season, I'm having fun watching it as well. There's like good characters to follow. The show looks very pretty, and I guess the drama's like very nice as well. Every character has their own kind of like unique personality traits. Also, yeah, the romance shows are solid. There's a lot of other like slice of life mystery action shows and fantasy isekais. So yeah, they'll also continue. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Peace.